Welcome to an episode of, I guess we're going to call this the Buffalo Bills pregame videos, where I do like previews of the games heading into the Sunday. Last week's I did Seattle Seahawks, and I got very good views and just feedback for that video. So I've decided, and I got good feedback for the Raiders video I did earlier this season. So I'm going to start doing these every week for the Bills, posting them to subreddits and stuff. So I'm hoping to, get this place going with these videos. But yeah, I'm just going to get right into the game. I have watched the Dolphins Cardinals game, I think like 3 times now, because I have the NFL Game Pass. I've watched the condensed game about 3 times. And I think I've come up with some good keys to win for both teams. Let's get right into it so I don't make it too long. First up, for the Bills, last week, great. Totally went against what I said we should do in the preview. I said we should focus on the run up the middle. That's what they were better at defensively than against the pass. I thought keeping the ball at Russell Wilson's hands and not relying on your defense to make plays, which they haven't been able to do all season, was the key to win. Turns out I was 100% wrong. This is why I don't game plan as a coach. I definitely need more seasoning before I can do that, because damn. But the Bills really won the game last week with throwing the ball a lot. It was like 4-1 past the run. So you're inclined to believe to do that again, right? Just because everyone's saying, "Oh, the Bills are going to go as far as Josh Allen goes." But opposed to the Seahawks had with one big playmaker in Jamal Adams, who was coming off an injury, so was kind of banged up and mostly uses the blitzer. Now the Cardinals do still blitz a lot, which is one of the problems I saw against the Dolphins was they weren't able to create pressure without blitzing. So they're going to blitz a lot, which against Josh Allen last week, the Seahawks blitz a ton. They got home on 7 sacks, but they also got lit up. But the thing is, the Cardinals is they have more than just one playmaker. They have Budda Baker, who's ranked, I think last time I checked, the number 1 safety by PFF in the league right now. They have Byron Murphy, who's coming back off the COVID list, hopefully, for them. I also love Byron Murphy and Budda Baker, Washington alums. I'm a fan of the team. But they also have Patrick Peterson. Now, the other Peterson guy who was on the field sucked, but he has a concussion, so he's probably out. So Byron Murphy's going to probably come back and replace him. So now they have 2 solid corners, a really good safety. So it's going to be a lot harder to throw on them as it was opposed to the Seahawks. Like I said, they're probably going to doubt they're a blitz-heavy team when they run defensively, or at least they were last week. So be prepared for that, like we were at the Seahawks. Hopefully we don't get injured as much because we did against the Seahawks. But I think, and the Cardinals struggled to stop the run, like opposed to the Seahawks, who were stronger stopping the run against the pass. They're stronger stopping the pass against the run. The problem is the Bills' run game is like 27th in the league, which I think you can maybe start getting going again. I'm not going to go back and just repeat what I said in the last video, but maybe instead of 4-1 passing the run, you go more 2-1 passing the run. You got to mix in more run to keep them guessing, kind of thing. Their linebackers are definitely their weak point of their defense. Their D-line's pretty good, even without, maybe not good pass rush wise, but they're good at creating, finishing off sacks. But they're good at creating pressure and opening up lanes for the linebackers to blitz, which is why they're so good at blitzing. But their linebackers are kind of weak. Hassan Reddick is good, but he's only rotational. Isaiah Simmons hasn't really been getting into the games that much for some reason. So the linebackers aren't that great, so maybe attacking the middle of the field or maybe trying to get a linebacker soloed up, if they especially go with a man, doing motions and things to try to set them up with maybe one-on-one with Tyler Kroft or like Cole Beasley one-on-one with a linebacker. That will probably be your best chance for passing the game. And hopefully, according to injury reports that came up today, everyone's looking to be healthy except for Tywan Jones, which is great. If we can get Mitch Morse and John Feliciano out there with Mike Bodker probably over Brian Winters, I really hope so, with how he's been playing. We could probably run the ball between the tackles decently well, since those guys aren't really known for their pass blocking, more of their run blocking. But with all that, you're still struggling in the run, so sticking with the pass is probably going to be a bonus. Your wide receivers are healthy. John Brown is officially fully healthy now. He's definitely one of the catalysts that bumped us up to where we were last week opposed to 2 weeks before, because you get a second option that Allen can go to, which he rewarded with 8 receptions for 99 yards. So yeah, I think the key for the Bills offense against the Cardinals defense is just to balance the attack more. Balance the attack. Don't be so one-dimensional, especially because the Cardinals are going to be a lot better against it. And hope people can stay healthy, basically. Just try to wade the storm with the blitzing and everything. Keys for Cardinals defense to be the Bills this week: force them to run the ball. I know your run defense isn't the best, but their run offense is definitely worse than their pass offense. So if you can force them to run the ball, keep everything in front of you, Don't let big plays happen. Play a lot of like off cover, zone. Then you might be able to limit the damage Josh Allen can, throw at you. Other than that, just play how you've been playing. You haven't been doing that great, but there's not much you can really change to adapt to this offense. Like I was saying, just run what you've been running, but make sure that you're staying disciplined on the pass. Mostly have them tell them, hey, beat me with the run. Go ahead, because the Bills probably aren't going to be able to. Just saying. But if you bite on it for that much, I'm not sure how much you can go without having to bite on it. And then that opens up the play action passing game and all that stuff. So just be very disciplined. Play disciplined defense, and you'll be able to limit this offense as much as you can. Now for the Cardinals offense is amazing. Number one offense in the league. DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, Christian Kirk. Speaking of Christian Kirk, I think that's your big weapon here. You need to put Christian Kirk in the slot against Teron Johnson, who has been a liability to say the least in coverage, and throw to him. If you get Christian Kirk lined up with Teron Johnson one-on-one, man up, you're going to him. He's gonna if you can do that for most of the game, it's 10 receptions, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. You're gonna cook Teron Johnson. Nothing against Teron Johnson. I liked him coming out of college. He's a good tackler, good run defender. But Christian Kirk's just really good out of the slot, and he has struggled this year. So that'd be your definite matchup to watch. If you have Christian Kirk in your fantasy leagues, I would suggest starting him just a little bit. Even if you're a Bills fan, he's gonna be working out of the slot, and he's gonna get some catches for a lot of yards. You see how he cooked out of the slot last game. And then also, I was looking at PFF. Ed Oliver is like the 4th worst D tackle in the league. Now his pass rushing grade is actually in the green. He's actually like almost an 80 in pass rushing. His run stopping though is at like 20 something. So if Ed Oliver's on the field, you give that ball to Chase Edmonds and run it at him. Force him to be like, hey, you've been playing good crap against the run all year. Show us that you can't be. Okay. Show us that you can't be crap against the run. Double negative. You get what I mean. Show us that you can actually stop us. And use that to open up the read option game, because Jermaine Edmonds looked like he was fully healthy again last week, and that's why he was able to show up and play. But Matt Milano's out. A.J. Klein had a good game, but it was basically because he just got blitzed every time. It wasn't that he was playing a read and react linebacker and was just doing amazing. So with those guys, with Jermaine Edmonds trying to bounce back, he's still struggling this season, and A.J. Klein having one good game. Let's be honest here. Running the ball. So Christian Kirk out of slot, running the ball at Oliver, like right up the middle at him, and then using that to go read option and try to get Kyler Murray one-on-one with one of the linebackers. You will break out of their ankles, and you'll get a lot of yards. So he's dangerous on the ground. He's probably the most dangerous runner on the ground out of the backfield or out of the quarterback position right now. So utilize that immensely. So those 3 things, it's kind of making me scared now, because I think we might lose if you guys actually are able to accomplish those 3 things, because those are like glowing red weak spots on our defense. For the Bills defense, what I saw against Miami when I watched the game, I know they had the strip sack fumble for a touchdown, but Arizona. Okay, so Kyler Murray has only been sacked 10 times this season. It doesn't mean he's not getting pressured though. DJ Humphries is a really good left tackle right now this season. Their offensive line altogether has been really good. Their center has been really good, but they've been letting up a lot of pressures. I noticed there was a lot of pressure in the game. I don't know why. It just caught my eye that the Dolphins were getting a lot of pressure with their front 4. Even with the blitzes, the Cardinals offensive line seemed a little overwhelmed. So maybe go back to the game plan you used against Seahawks last year. Go back to the game plan you used against Seahawks last week, but you don't want to use the same exact game plan because they have literal film tape on that. So go some heavy blitzes, blitz A.J. Klein all the time again, so that way he actually does something good for once. I don't know. I just don't like him right now. Jerry Hughes is starting to turn it on as a pass rusher right now as the season gets towards crunch time. But yeah, you're going to need to you're going to be able to get pressure, but you need to capitalize on that pressure. You can't let him get away. Putting a spy on Murray may be the worst thing you can do, because if you have a spy, 1, it takes away from one of your zones, and 2, I don't think that one guy is going to be able to take him down 1-on-1. So you're going to need to rally to the ball. He's going to get rushing yards. There's no way to prevent that entirely. He's going to get yards. Just try to stop him as much as you can. Limit how many yards he can get. Force him to the boundaries. Make him have to tuck and run with coverage sacks, coverage pressure, because he is amazing with his legs. Just you running the whole game, he's not going to be able to beat you. And I'm not saying he's only going to have to run the whole game. Our defense is that shut down. But if he's only running and he hasn't doing his thing through the air as well, if you're limiting that even more than his running, let him run because he's not going to be able to beat you 100% with just his legs. So that'd be our keys to the Bills defense. And yeah, that's going to be it for this little preview. My final guess for the Cardinals Bills game at Arizona is at like 4:05 p.m. Like, I want to go to the Bills. I picked the Bills on my betting card. But the Cardinals matchup, it just seems, it's like people like to say that like they're Seattle light, and then Seattle isn't, or they're not as good as Seattle, but they beat Seattle, and they're always below the power rankings in Seattle. I don't get it. Their defense is better than Seattle's. But I haven't really thought about this ahead of time. I don't know who's going to win. I want the Bills to win, obviously. On the episode of the podcast, it'll be going up either today or tomorrow or on Saturday. I predict the Bills to win. Let's go. It's going to be close. It's definitely going to be close. I'm going to go Bills 38-35. Last second field goal maybe by Tyler Bass. It's going to be tight, and it's going to be high scoring. Take the over on this game if you can. Hammer that. But yeah, Cardinals, Christian Kirk, run it at Oliver. Read option. Bills, try to get some more running in there. Try to keep the ball out of Kyler Murray's hands, but still, do what you do the best on offense and give it to Josh Allen and just spin it. This should be fun. This is actually probably my game of the week, to be honest with you. It's going to be a really fun one. So, yeah, if like I said, if this is the first time here, subscribe if you want to. If you want to get updated, I do post. I'm going to start posting these more. And we post some other stuff. I do some draft breakdowns of prospects. I'm kind of slacking on that right now. We do weekly podcast episodes where it's basically just me and my friends shit talking on a couch about football. Nothing really analytical about it. Just us sitting there shit talking, giving our opinions on teams that, just like how you and your friends would do. And then we're going to have some new series coming out. I'm very excited for next year when the new series comes out. But yeah, we have some social medias, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Instagram is at The Weekly Huddle. Twitter is at Weekly Huddle. And Facebook, I believe, is at The Weekly Huddle. Other than that, have a good day. Go Bills, and I'm very much so looking forward to this game. Peace.